Hey, come on in and welcome to A Win is a Win podcast, where sports and everything else collide. Comfortable? All right. Let's go, Dr. T.
All right. We are here and we are down to conference championships. But first, we had to have some games go down in order to get to this point, y'all. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. That's right. We are here. And it is time to put up or shut up. And let's see who's got the juice. But before we get into all of that, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast. And don't forget to tell someone to tell somebody else to join. A win is a win. Thank you all for the new subs. I see those coming in. Thank you for running up the listening numbers. Appreciate that so much. Don't forget, though, to hit that notification bell so you know when a new episode drops. And don't forget to also hit the like button. You know what it does is it keeps the sister in the algorithm, lets the world know, hey, she got a podcast over there. And don't forget, subscribing over here doesn't cost you a thing. Now, I know there are people who got subscriptions out and, let them do what they do. But over here, right now in this lane, it don't cost you nothing to come over, get on the couch, and let's talk some sports because let's face it, that's what we are here for. Yep. So let's get into it. We are not going to waste any time. Listen, the Texans and let me rephrase that. Let me go into it like this, y'all. The Chiefs and the refs beat the Texans 23-14. Stroud was 19 of 28 for 245 yards, and Mahomes was 16 of 25 for 177 yards and one touchdown. Listen, let me just sit that aside for a minute, get past all of the data and the stats and the box scores. Let's get into what really needs to be talked about, okay? Because we all see it, whether you are, and even if you are a Chiefs fan, you couldn't help but to see what was happening in that game. And I want to talk about the two penalties called on the Texans. So you got um uh Houston's edge rusher, Anderson, right? Now, he was called for roughing the passer, and I believe this was third down in the first quarter. All right, so Anderson, he appeared to push Mahomes in the chest a little. If you watch it, in the chest, and he had thrown the ball already, and that was incomplete to Kelsey. And Anderson was flagged for that. All right. So now we got the second penalty, and that was during Mahomes' usual scrambled eggs running all over the field, and this was in the third quarter. Now, if you watch, he had two blockers on a run and three defenders that was basically running full steam towards him, like barreling down on him. He moves to his right and then back to his left when he decided to slide, y'all. Go watch this. Go watch this. When he decides to slide, he goes back to his left. Texans, the linebacker, I think it's like Toto, however you say his name. He hit Mahomes up around the neck as he slid. Boom. Now look, despite all of the, the little commotion and bang bang on the field and just the nature of the play itself, Toto, um, they called him for unnecessary roughness. And then you gotta, okay, let's go back though, because the first penalty extended the drive and it ended with the field goal. If you remember, if you watched the game, the second penalty pushed Kansas City up the field and the drive ended with a touchdown. Now, come on now. Now, I didn't put this in gone now. I wanted to, but I got something better for that. But come on now. We're going to call this one. Come on now, refs. Ain't no way. And even look, y'all, even Troy Aikman was like, when you, it was a bad call because he barely got hit. Okay. And I don't necessarily, I'm just going to paraphrase because I don't remember what he said word for word, but I believe he said it was something to the nature of the second penalty was basically like, you can't play with these defenders, Mahomes. You basically can't, as a QB, go run around the whole field and play with the defenders and then be able to draw a penalty. That's foul. That's foul. And then you got some of the Texans after the game who was extremely bothered by it. Extremely. You have D'Amico Ryans. He said, we knew going into this game it was us versus everybody. And when I say everybody, it's everybody, all of the whatever, the naysayers, the doubt, right? Everybody we had to go against today, knowing that going into this game, knowing that we were up against, we can't make the mistakes that we made. He took the lighter route, but Joe Mixon called it what it was. Everybody knows how it is playing up here. You can never leave it into the ref's hands, said Mixon. But I mean, the whole world see what it is. And it is what it is. I mean, I could care less how Clay Martin decided that he wanted to explain, because your explanation of forcible contact to the face mask area, which warranted the pin, stop it. Stop. Okay. Let's just say the NFL wants the Chiefs to three-peat. Jump down in the comment section. Continue that. Let me know if you agree or disagree. It was a upset, y'all. Upset. Jaden Daniels said, oh no, y'all will not. And let me show you why. That's right. Commanders won big time over the Lions 45-31. Daniels was 22 of 31 for 299 yards, 2 touchdowns. Goff was 23 of 40 for 313 yards and a touchdown. Listen, can Jaden and his squad get to the Super Bowl? That's all I want to know. Excuse me. That's all I want to know, because it seems like, to me, in this situation, it seems that the Lions wasn't prepared for the kind of scheme that the Commanders had. It just didn't seem like they were ready for it. You go in and you underestimate people, and that's when they pull the rug from up under you. I believe that they think that they were inexperienced, and the Lions, the way that they have been playing, it would work. This is playoff football, y'all. So what you did do, and as good as it has been, 15-2, that 15-2 is the regular season. It don't have nothing to do with the playoffs, because people bring a different type of game. But can Daniels and his squad run it all the way to the Super Bowl? And better yet, if they do, can they win? Well, y'all let me know down in the chat, because I think it's going to be some more upsets to come next week. Rams fall to the Eagles 22-28. Stafford 26 of 44 for 324 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Hurts 15 of 20 for 128 yards, no picks. I think if Saquon, from what I've seen, if he wasn't in the game, the Eagles don't take the W. Clear my voice on that. They don't win the game if Barkley was not in the house. All right. The game that everyone was waiting for. took place. And listen, sometimes you got to hold your L as heavy as it is and walk away, especially when you know you could have done better. This is playoff football. There is no excuse you can make in this situation because the Ravens fell to the Bills 25-27. Tried to go for two, both times missed. Field goals being missed. Fumbles and picks. You cannot win football games, even in the regular season, that way, especially not the playoffs. Okay? So I don't want to hear any excuses for the Ravens. Okay? It is what it is. And you don't win football games that way. Period. All right. Jackson was 18 of 25 for 254 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Allen was 16 of 22 for 127 yards. Got to hold on to the ball and you got to make those field goals. So here's the big question. Who is the front runner for the MVP now? Because is it because Josh Allen and the Bills took down the Ravens postseason? Because to me, that would make him MVP for the postseason, not regular season. See, I don't want to get all of this mixed up. What they're doing right now has no bearings on who did what for the regular season. Okay? Which quarterback did the most for their team? Who made a difference in the entire squad? Think of it like that. Because what we won't do is keep moving the goalposts. Every single year we have a conversation about MVP. We have to move the goalposts. My God. Okay. So if it's Allen, we're going to move it this way. If it's Jackson, we're going to move it that way. If it's Goff, we're going to move it this way. No, it is what it is for every single person that's in that category. So if these were the two top dudes right now, and you are sitting at a table for an MVP vote, who gets it? By the criteria, not your feelings. Because you might have the people's MVP, but then you also have the facts that back up the MVP. Furthermore, if Allen doesn't get past the next round with the Bills, then that's the same conversation that needs to be had, just like it has been for Lamar Jackson. Why? Because neither one of them has gotten past the playoffs. Neither one of them have gotten to the Super Bowl. Okay? That's my thing. It's like I watch First Take. I watch First Things First. I watch all of these different shows, Good Morning Football, and everybody sits at a desk and everybody is saying different shit every week. The goalpost stays where it is. Listen, when you kick a field goal, that goalpost does not move left or right depending upon which way the ball is swaying. That damn thing stays right there in the middle. And you got to kick to reach that point. You either got to get your ball through them two uprights, or you as a quarterback and your team have to get to that destination to set your kicker up for success. So if the goalpost ain't moving there and you got to work towards that end of the field, then pick up what I'm laying down. They have to work towards that MVP, but the goalposts don't change. Who got the MVP, y'all? Jump down in the chat and let me know. Also, let me know who's got the juice. Who's got the juice? Because, see, we get to this particular point in time of the year, and what happens is we look at who's left, let's say. All right. And instead of looking at who's playing good football, we want to go with what's popular, the Chiefs. We want to go with, you know, who we want to knock the next person, the Chiefs off, the Bills. Can the Eagles do it? Can the Commanders do it? Well, let's stop putting the narrative around who's got the juice and who's going to win the Super Bowl by one team. If the Chiefs three-peat, and deservingly so, they play good football with no help, so be it. But what I don't like is the narrative that everyone seems to count every other team out because Patrick Mahomes and his squad just seems to keep getting by. So when you look at who's left, who do you really think has got the juice to make it to the Super Bowl? Let me know down in the chat. Sports news coming up next. Your AI sidekick has arrived. That's right. Turn off the bat signal because Blaze is here to save the day. Blaze is an AI sidekick for overwhelmed teams of one just like you. Brainstorm and outline content ideas with AI. Go from idea to on-brand content in minutes. Turn a blog post into 10 plus asset types, ads, social posts, emails, and more. Collaborate with colleagues in real time and get content approved. Go to drT23.site. That is DRT23.site. Navigate to Blaze and download today. Mr. Silver, listen. Fixing the NBA and the 3-point problem is the least of the worries, okay? Because we have bigger problems. And yes, your ratings are falling because no one wants to sit and watch 48 to 50 something minutes of this shit every single night. All right. Adam Silver says, y'all, that the NBA will work on fixing the 3-point problem. He says, we're on it. As stewards of the game, we'll tweak it. We will correct those issues. Bruh. Here's the thing, Mr. Silver. The refs, that's your real problem. And if you're worried about how many threes a team takes, then your thinking is a lot wilder than what a lot of us seem to think. I see what people say online and they're like, oh, is Steph Curry ushered in this? No. Let's stop right there. Because just because Steph is the greatest shooter of all time, that does not make him the problem. It's not his fault that players pretty much relinquish fundamental basketball and take unnecessary threes. Period. Steph plays intellectual and just so happens to be the greatest shooter. He's not just standing at the 3-point line waiting for the ball. Other thing is this. Bring back hand checking. Allow some more physicality and then watch what happens. Play some defense. Also, perhaps shorten the clock instead of 12 mini quarters. Let's play 10 mini quarters. I would also take away 20 games instead of 82. Let's play about 60. Let's play around 60 with no backs to backs. Then you can spread the games out a little bit more so that the players have more time to, what did they want to do? Rest, okay? And perhaps practice. So that when they do play, we actually get some basketball. That's the difference between people saying, oh, well, this is the new way of basketball. Okay, where they teach that at? Isn't it the saying that goes, where they do that at? Well, where they teach that at? And if anybody can tell me in the comments, please do, because you are talking to someone who played basketball, YMCA, middle school, high school. My kids played basketball. Fundamentals don't change. People change the fundamentals based on what they want to do on the court. And the NBA has been accepting of it. When you watch the All-Star game and it's over 200 points, stop. You might as well go purchase your tickets to an NBA basketball game and watch it like we used to have intramurals at school, and just see what people bring out their ass. Just see what people come up with at this point. Oh, okay, I came here for a 52-minute 3-point shootout. Bet. Let me go get some hot dogs and some beer. People don't want to see that. It's a sport. What happened to the sport? So trying to tweak the three and correct that, you got a long way to go, Mr. Silver. A very, very long way to go. Listen, just let him go, y'all. Just let this man go. Take the loss. Eat the money if you can, and just him go. Deshaun Watson has a viral TikTok video that's going to cost him about $92 million if the Cleveland Browns pretty much bring down the hammer, and as they should at this point. Now, Deshaun Watson is owed a guaranteed $92 million from the Cleveland Browns over the next 2 NFL seasons. However, a TikTok video from the day after Christmas could potentially cost him his entire remaining salary. Deshaun, where is your walking boot, sir? Where's it at? Because you just had surgery on your Achilles tendon, sir. But you said you were walking with the boot on. Hold on now.
Hold up. Hey.
Watson, 29, tore his Achilles at the end of October. He recently retore the same Achilles tendon just 3 months into his recovery. It was another full rupture caused by a rolled ankle. Cleveland Browns will likely recoup a large chunk of his massive salary, regardless of how things play out in the upcoming weeks, because of an insurance policy. However, the team may also be able to avoid its quarterback entire contract because of the video posted on social media on December 26. Watson pulled over on the side of the road to dance with his girlfriend. I'm just going to stop right there.
Bruh.
Listen, this is the problem. Y'all, can y'all see the problem here? The problem is everybody wants to do something for social media. Everybody wants to post something. It's like a disease almost. You couldn't just pull your car over for whatever it is that you were doing, okay? And even if you were on vacation, that's not the crime here. That's not what you're being judged on. But if you look closely at the video, you will notice that he does not have on the walking boot. He is wearing his normal sneakers. Now, I'm just going to tell y'all like this, because this is every bit of my line of work. A re-tear rate for an Achilles is very low, y'all, for a ruptured Achilles especially. And when treated properly in recovery especially, and I know because I work on athletes, that they get top tier attention. So with that being said, patients typically depend on a walking boot. And I tell my athletes and anybody that comes to see me in general, You need to stay in this for about 3 months, 90 days. And sometimes I even push it out a little bit farther than that. It's very hard to roll an ankle or tweak it, especially if you have a pre-existing injury, if it's secured by the boot. Now, Deshaun Watson posted that TikTok video without a walking boot just 62 days after his Achilles first pop. What did I just say, y'all? 3 to 4 months. That's well inside of that time frame. Okay. The Browns said that their quarterback retore his Achilles because he rolled his ankle in Miami. Given the difficulty of, rolling an ankle while wearing a boot, it is possible that he did not have one on. He was not wearing one in the video from December 26th. So there is already probable cause per a Brown statement. Now, if the team and its medical staff require Watson to wear a walking boot during recovery and he did not wear one anyway, that could be a reason to void the remaining $92 million on his deal. It also would require an investigation and definitive proof, but the Cleveland Browns could be willing to pursue that avenue because of how much money is at stake. Get y'all money and get us another quarterback. End of story. Ain't nothing else left to talk about. And this is going to lead me into another QB kind of quarterback situation. Dion, don't do it. Sir, don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Leave Jerry and his mess in Dallas, because every bit of your calling and what you always preach about is making a difference in these young men's lives, making them better to be men, or even if they want to move into the NFL. Don't go down there in Dallas, Dion, and deal with Jerry and his nonsense. Please let that man stay exactly where he's at and do exactly what he did, because look at what he did to Mike McCarthy. You blocked him from interviewing with the Chicago Bears, only to 2 days later mutually agreeing to part ways. Okay. So at this point, Jerry and Steve and your children, who probably are letting you just do whatever you want to do because they want to protect their inheritance investments in some way, so they just let you do what the hell ever. Why don't you just be the coach? Since you got so much to say, since after every single game, the press runs to you before they even run to the head coach. Why don't you just be the quarterback at this point? Mr. I know about football but don't know shit. Go and be the quarterback. The head coach. And see how you and Dak make that work. Just remember that you cannot wear suits on the sideline, Jerry. You got to wear NFL regulated gear on the sideline. So go ahead and get you a nice little Dallas fit or the little hoodies and get your gear up and get on over on the sideline, because at this point it is just complete utter nonsense in Dallas, and you can't call it any other way. And as long as Jerry is at the top and he is the GM and he's gonna do as I say and as I do when I tell you to do it and don't ask no questions, then the Dallas Cowboys ain't winning a damn thing at all. Okay, listen, y'all, we got ball players that rap. Apparently Leangelo Ball, I have not heard this song. He has a song out that's just going viral all over the place. So some people are saying it has sort of like a Cash Money, New Orleans feel to it. All right. He signed a deal with Def Jam and Universal Music Group for about 13 million with 8 million guaranteed, and gives him basically full ownership over his music. Okay. One thing you cannot say is that their father did not teach them how to get a bag. And where I get the hype around the song, this is just my opinion, okay? Is this something that's going to be sustainable, or is this one of these Shaq put out some music and and then it goes away? Like, is this one of these things, or because of this deal, have they heard other music that makes UMG and Def Jam feel like they have something with this? Is it something else that's coming? Does he have an album? Does he have an EP? Exactly is that? I mean, okay, you look at Flow J, and she does her music when she's not in season. I get it. Everybody has something else that they want to do. Do you guys think that this is something serious and he keeps going with it? Or do you feel like this is just one of those Shaq moments and we hear it and all right, and then it goes away? Let me know down in the comments what you think about that. Canelo and Crawford are about 95% confirmed for a fight later on in this year. And it seems like they came to an agreement a couple of weeks. About a couple of weeks ago. But this is going to be on pay-per-view. And when I tell you this is going to be one of the biggest fights of the year, yeah, I'm waiting to see this. And on top of that, it seems like, this has pissed off other people. And I'll just say this, because here's the thing. When I call people out on this show, then they send their little bots to come and try and bully me. That don't work. Just letting you know. That doesn't work over here. That being said, if you wanted the fight, you should have signed the contract. So don't get mad at Crawford and Canelo because it's happening now. Okay? Don't get mad that it's happening right now, when you had every opportunity to do the same thing. And sometimes I feel like I'm gonna just say it. Gervonta Davis, be quiet. Just shh. Okay? Just bring it down. Okay? Bring it down some. You disrespected this man's wife. And you're pulling things out that's bringing out the uglier side of you. These two men sat down and came up with an agreement to have a professional fight. Okay? And you kept poking a bear and poking a bear. And you're mad because I feel like you weren't also invited to that Ring Magazine gala. This is the thing. You don't have to insert yourself in everything. But when you disrespected that man's wife, that is his wife. Every single person in this world has their person. And now they are not going to be what society says that they should be. You be with the person that you love. They don't have to have a BBL. They don't have to have fake breasts. They don't have to have fake lips. They don't have to have extremely long hair extensions. They don't have to bleach their skin. They don't have to conform to what society says you're supposed to look like. That man loves that woman who has all of his children. He takes care of them and he minds his business and he stays inside of his house and he don't bother nobody. He come out to fight and go back inside of his house. Same way Kendrick Lamar comes out, raps his ass off, makes his point and goes back inside of his house. He don't stay in no drama and neither does Tank. Neither does Crawford. But Tank, you do. How many women have you beat up? Wasn't your girlfriend? Listen, stop. Okay? Just stop. Because when you disrespect a man's wife, and if he sees you and he catches you and knocks your jaw loose, you had that coming. So what we are here for, we are here for some boxing. That's what we're here for. Okay? And we don't want to see unnecessary banter, unnecessary conversation when this has nothing to do with you. You put yourself in this. So take yourself out. Take yourself out. It's unnecessary for you to even be in this conversation. Go somewhere. Come back and actually put on a fight that people want to see. Jimmy Buckets and his children's mother are going back and forth because he basically says you are not entitled to the NBA wife lifestyle when she demands $55,000 in child support. Now let me see, Jimmy Butler and the NBA right now are going back and forth. And you can call it like it is. I just think he wants out of Miami and he's pretty much having the equivalent of a tantrum to do it. Okay. But he's in this whole legal battle over child support payments. Now, Butler asserts that the $55,000 he pays a month should be adequate for the upkeep of his 3 children. However, his ex-partner is demanding an additional $10,000 per month on top of the existing child support. Hold on a minute. Just wait one damn minute, y'all.
Oh, hell no!
In what world does a human being need $60,000 a month to take care of some damn children? You know what? Let me tell you something. There are women out here, if you put them in this same scenario, that do more with less. This is where I have a problem with child support. This is where I have a problem with it. Okay? If you have a child and you are entitled to it by the laws of that state or in the United States of America, pay what it is reasonably needed to take care of a child, not what is needed to keep hair done, nails done, lip injections, Botox, and all the rest of that shit. Because what are you doing every month? What is your job? Now I done got pissed off. What is your job, ma'am? Even if you are a stay-at-home mom, what else are you doing? How are you being productive? I don't want to hear that you're tired because it takes you all day to run around with the kids, clean this up. That's a full-time job. Oh, yes, okay. But guess what? It's women out here that do that and some more. And you're listening to one of them right now. Never complained, never made excuses, got out there, pounded concrete. Even when I had to stay at home, I still did something. What are you doing that you need $60,000, $65,000 a month to take care of 3 children? Knock it off. It's disgusting. And I don't even like Jimmy Butler, but this ain't about him and him being just an idiot right now. This has everything to do with what's right. Just like I don't agree when men ditch and run away from child support and their other financial obligations. This is equally as disgusting, if not more, because you should know better. Ooh, all right, y'all. Butler's legal team has emphasized in court that since Butler and the children's mother were never married, she should not expect to live as if she were married to an NBA player. The dispute underscores the complexity in child support negotiations, particularly regarding the expectations, excuse me, of lifestyle maintenance when parents have not been legally bound in marriage. Oh, that's fine, but let's get to the root of the problem. What are you doing? I care less about all this fancy fluff at the end. What are you doing? Listen. The Giants GM and Nick Steele, they still got their beef, y'all, going. I ain't even want to spend no more time on that Jimmy Butler things. My blood pressure is gonna go. But they still got beef, y'all. And this has been going on and on and on and on, and it just will not stop. All right. So when the GM Joe Scone was asked about Nick McLeod's after that situation, asking him to take a pay cut mid-season. He said, "Don't pay October's rent. As soon as I can replace him, I am going to replace him." So here's the backstory, right? The lack of trust worsened a little bit, pretty much as that season went on. According to different players on the team, the situation just kept spiraling in the locker room and off the field. And a lot of people didn't really like how they were dealing with the cornerback. So before the start of week 4 against the Cowboys, the Giants wanted McLeod to take a pay cut from the 1-year, $2.98 million deal he signed as a restricted free agent in the offseason, according to a couple of sources in the organization. Now, McLeod wanted to remain with the Giants, but on his current deal. Now, asking him to take a pay cut during the season before a game that he was set to start in was asinine. That was some unusual nonsense that went on. I mean, that usually is reserved for the offseason. Now, according to multiple Giants players, Sean told McLeod's representative, "Don't pay October's rent. All right? As soon as I can replace him, I am going to replace him. I am not effing around." The Giants general manager then slammed the phone. Messy. Now, McLeod started, I believe he started about 4 more games. Yeah, I think he started 4 more games before they released him on November 5th. Now, he signed to the 49ers practice squad following his release. So I think that was like really quick. It was the following week. And he worked really quick to get on their active roster. So the situation affected the vibe in the locker room. McLeod was a well-liked player. His locker room behavior was, pretty much that of a leader. And his locker was between off-season acquisition Brian Burns and Slayton. He was close to both of them on and off the field. And, the Giants is a dysfunctional organization, period. But that being said, you also still have to wonder. This is the same GM that let Saquon walk. Pattern of behavior. How does he still have a job? How? Are you asking is the owner telling you that you need to take a pay cut? Because if he did mid-season, would you take a pay cut as the GM? You're making poor decisions, sir. So we need some of that money. Are you going to do it? Joe? Worst GM in the league. Besides, you know who, if you ask me. But they both could be right up there, neck and neck. You never know. So, is Russell Wilson to blame for the Steelers' early playoff exit? And would he re-sign with the Steelers, or does he go somewhere else, or does he just simply retire? This is what he said. You've got a special coach in Coach Tomlin. You've got a special organization, special people, special players, and a special fan base. It's been one of the best years for me personally, being a Pittsburgh Steeler. Obviously, I hope I am here in 2025. Here's the thing, and I watched that game, and I just have two takeaways. It wasn't even his fault that the Steelers lost. It wasn't. And I think Tomlin is going to have to do some work with Pickett. And, you know, you're going to have to take some accountability for what's going on in the organization. It's 17 years that he's in, and the defense is still trash. I don't know what the answer is, because the Steelers have been a mess since this season started. Fields versus Russ. And what I do know is that Russ is a nice enough guy, yes. So is Tomlin. He's kind of no nonsense. You like who you like. But is it time to exit stage left? Do you go somewhere else and start over and stay there until you both retire at this point? Or do you continue the trajectory of what you have, keep everybody in place, and make some necessary moves in the draft on defense to get better? Because the defense, y'all, is trash. It's trash. I'm sorry. If you're a Steelers fan and you're listening, I'm a Browns fan. But listen, you call it like it is. We won't tell the truth. Defense is trash, and it wasn't Russ's fault. That being said, this is still season 18, going into not having any outcome. So while we're asking, does Russ keep his job? Does Tomlin keep his job? This is what I want to know. Let me know down in the chat. Listen, stop touching shit. Stop touching shit. You know what your aunties or your grandma or your grandpa used to say, or even your parents, you in there and you're doing something you ain't got no business. You always bothering. Stop touching shit. Go sit down somewhere. That's exactly how I feel about the NFL right now, considering using win percentage to decide the top 4 playoff teams. You have got to be kidding me. We don't need anything else to be tweaked to form another playoff format. Okay? We don't. Because if you do that, then what's the point of having division winners? I'm just asking. I think Roger Goodell, please listen. The playoff format is fine. We don't need a college playoff format in professional football. Win your damn division or win more games. If you can win 12 or more games and get a 5 seed, you can win on a damn road. So leave it alone. Leave it alone. Division winners need to be rewarded. Stop touching shit. Leave it alone. We are okay where we are. And you already got the kickoff. I mean, the punt return looking a mess. Now you want to change the onside kick. All right. Leave it alone, please. We are okay where we are. Stop trying to change everything when it don't need to be. Leave it where it's at. Des Bryant has some words for Kyron Lacey after fleeing an accident that killed a 75-year-old senior. So let's take a listen to what Des Bryant has to say.
Lost for words. I couldn't believe the news I just saw about Kyron Lacey. That's sad. That's very, very, very sad. Kid with a bright future. For sure was going to go to the NFL and make a name for himself. Come on, athletes. Even though we come from where we come from, when we get in these positions, we really got to start thinking. Yeah, it's unusual. It's an uncommon situation for us, but we got to try to think better. We got to try to do better. We can't continue to keep on doing things like this. And the people that's out there that's representing these athletes, if you really represent them, make sure you're telling them the truth. Don't just share all of the good shit with them. Share the bad shit with them. If you do this and if you do that, this can really happen. Because if you're not doing that and you're only just looking to represent the athlete, for your cut, you're really doing that athlete a disservice. And I remember early in the college football season, I can't think of the kid's name from South Carolina. He had made a sack. I want to say they was playing Ole Miss. He made a sack on the quarterback, and he did the gun gesture, as he was shooting him on the ground. Come on, man, kill that shit. Kill that. That's dumb. That type of shit don't belong in football. Just keeping it real. When God give you an opportunity to go do something special, you got to take advantage of that. Like you really have to. Now, and I want to say this, before I do. Just look at the photos just going around surrounding Kyron Lacey in this situation. It's the gun gesture. It's this right here. It's this right here. Like that's a no-go. And I end with this, man. Prayers up to the victim's family. I'm praying for you too, Kyron Lacey. Come on, man. Let's do better.
And this is something that's important. We need more OGs basically to start checking this type of behavior. When you are involved in an accident and it takes the life of someone, basically a hit and run. This person was 78 years old. Okay. And it doesn't matter. People want to get down to the particular details, the internet investigators saying he didn't kill someone in a hit and run. He was speeding and he is the one that caused it, but he didn't physically hit someone. It's still a hit and run by the law because he didn't stay on the scene. Doesn't make a difference how the accident happened. The end result was death. Okay. And then you got to think about it like this. Look how Des Bryant has matured. And now he's using his platform to try to mentor someone. He didn't get hype. He didn't get all out of control. He remained positive, and he basically said, listen, that type of behavior does not align with the gift that you have been given to enter such a elite league. Leave the street shit where it's at, is basically what he's saying. So, you know, think of the man who lost his life, and he also injured 2 others. Okay? So that the Louisiana police department also stated that they actually had to do some investigation to even determine that Lacey was the driver of the car, and an arrest warrant had to go out for him. Disgusting. Disgusting. And those of you who can't see that and are trying to find excuses into, these type of accidents happen all the time. If I hit someone in the middle of the street in their vehicle and I leave that's fleeing the scene, that is not the only crime if the person dies. That's a vehicular homicide. Y'all, Dick Vitale, he's back. That's right. He is back after 4 bouts of cancer. He is going to return to calling some games. And, you got to clap that up. Definitely, you got to clap that up, because it's not always easy to just do the little things after you are fighting cancer, while you're fighting, and even after you have fought. Those of you who know me know my story. If you don't, I'll tell that another time. But it is difficult to do that. It is difficult to get up every day and just function, let alone fight it 4 times and then get back into the saddle and call game. So shout out to Dick Vitale for getting up and not letting, that cancer keep him down. Now, listen. Tom Brady said, what y'all talking about? They ain't talking about nothing. What they talking about? They ain't talking about nothing. Huh? They ain't talking about nothing. Oh, okay. Go listen to Peekaboo if you don't know what I'm talking about. Listen, he basically says that he is going to honor his 10-year, $375 million contract with Fox, given all his various business interests away from broadcasting, including the ownership that remains with the Raiders. Well, I was thinking of the Rams. I'm sorry, with the Raiders. And some people clown him because he got, off to a rocky start. And listen, them same people who sitting in their living room with their feet up watching the game can't even analyze the game from the couch, let alone get on a national platform and call it. That man is a professional football player, and he might not have the smooth delivery, but the facts that he's saying out of his mouth is very much true. Broadcasters and journalists do that for a living. Athletes don't. You can't tell me when you first saw Shannon Sharp on CBS, when you first saw what is the man's name? Oh geez, Steven Jackson, or Paul Pierce, or even now you can listen to Michael Irvin and just please Shady McCoy and James Jones. None of them go to a platform and know exactly how to make what they know about sports come across in a broadcaster form. It's just not natural to them. So they have to grow into it. But it doesn't mean that, not all the time, what they're saying isn't true or facts. Now, some people I beg to differ with, because some takes are just, they are not good. I mean, some people can agree some of my takes are not good, but that's just the variation in opinion on how you see things. But give the man a break. How many people that's criticizing him can actually pick up the mic, go up in the booth, lights, camera, action, and go and talk play by play, second by second, minute by minute? You can't. Get off that man's back. Let him do what he got to do. And for as much as I've seen, he's not done a terrible job at all. We have some issues with um, a lot of, the drone activity that's been going on. Of course, we know that there were drones in, what was it, New Jersey or New York, and they just pretty much dismissed it like, oh yeah, there were nothing, and this, that, and the other. Well, here's the problem. Civilian drones damages Super Scooper airplane fighting LA fires, outraging Angelinos, and grounding vital aircraft. Let me get this here article, because this article was pretty interesting to me. Now, on Thursday, January 9th, a reckless drone grounded one of the Los Angeles' vital Super Scooper firefighting planes during one of the worst wildfire disasters in the city's history. The drone collided with a CL-415 Super Scooper, leaving a football-sized hole in its wing and sidelining the $30 million firefighting aircraft. These planes, leased each fire season from Quebec, are crucial for battling the wildfires, capable of scooping 1,600 gallons of water in seconds. The timing couldn't be worse. Over 12,000 structures have been destroyed, 20,000 plus acres burned in the Palisades fires alone, and the death toll even today still continues to rise. They even found actors and disabled people in the homes that people couldn't find currently. They had went missing. They hadn't heard from their loved ones, and they are just finding the bodies this week. The FAA has strict rules against flying drones near wildfires. I think they have rules about flying drones in the first place, with penalties up to $75,000 or a year in prison. Yet rogue drone operators continue to risk lives for clout. That goes back to everything I was saying before with Deshaun Watson. Everything does not have to be done for clout. You want to put these drones up in the air. You want to post it on social media. And then when you get found out about it, now you want to get dragged into court and cry because you wanted that 12 seconds of TikTok fame or Instagram fame, or you want to go post it on YouTube so that you can make a name for yourself at the expense of other people. Bullshit. This time, the consequences were catastrophic. Precious minutes lost, houses left unprotected, and firefighters forced to work without critical aerial support. LA County officials are promising action, including tech to block drones' frequencies near firefighting aircraft. But as the fires had raged on, the message is clear: stay grounded. Literally. No viral video is worth putting lives at risk. Reckless clout chasing is disgusting, and that is the problem that people are having right now. I think this needs to be studied on how some people, and I'd be clear of how I'm prefacing this, some people use social media platforms for clout. They use it to be internet bullies. In this particular situation, it grounded airplanes that needed to be in the air to help fight a fire that was literally killing people, melting cars together on the highway because of the heat. And just because you wanted to put up a 10, 12, 30-second video on a social media platform, it cost them more time, less resources to try and fight a fire that this entire United States has never seen since Hawaii. It's time to hold these people accountable. Even if you are a citizen and you see something, I'll put it to you like this. Some people are just walking up on people pulling pranks that are dangerous just so that they can make a TikTok video. And then they wonder why they end up shot or they end up dead. And I'm not saying the result is to take a person's life, but you can see how that happens. Everything doesn't need to be shown on social media. And for you reckless clout chasers that are just so high off of making a name off of yourself, even if it's at the expense of other people, shame on you. Shame on you. Best bets coming up next, y'all. Looking for some quality betting picks? Well, download the Discord app and join our group Bet Masters Lounge, where you can get positive EV and arbitrage along with best bets and parlays. Download Discord now, send us an invite, and get in on the action. All right, y'all. Let's talk about some of these bets coming up for the conference championship. So, the way that we're going to break this down, these are all going to be 2-man slips. And we're going to have 3 of them. Okay. So my first slip is going to be with on the Eagles and Commanders game. I am going to go with the over at 47.5 on that game. And then we're going to pick a player prop. And I believe that Jalen Hurts can get over 174.5 passing yards. So we are going to go with that prop. He's projected to hit about 190.94. So that's plus 24 on a positive EV. So go ahead and jump on that. That's one slip. And then for the Bills and the Chiefs, I'm going first half that the score will be over 23.5. So I'm going to take the over in that. And then I'm also going to throw in a player prop for this game that Mahomes will not throw over 253.5 yards. He's only projected to hit about 237. So they have him at 253. Go under that for a player prop in that game. That's your second 2-man slip. And then my last 2-man slips are going to be quarters. And in the Commanders Eagles game, first quarter, I'm going to take the Eagles to cover the spread at minus 0.5 in that. And then I am also going to take in the Bills and Chiefs game in the first quarter. I'm going to take the over at 9.5 points. These are early bets. I've already gotten mines in already. Go ahead, if you want to do more research on these bets, go and look at the historical data. You can go to sportsradar.com and it'll give you the averages. Of course, that is just something to go by because, again, in playoffs, we never know. But it is good to have some type of data to go by. And our bets from last week. So we put the parlays in and we put those in as singles. So if you put those in as parlays, of course, one of two didn't hit, but you got that bonus bet. So you got that money back, whatever you put in there. But also, we did hit on two of those as well. So that puts us in that game at 75% hit rate if you did put those in as single bets to back up your parlays. Don't forget, if you want to join me on DraftKings, go to drT23.site. That is DRT23.site. Hit join me on DraftKings. Get up in there, y'all. Get up in there. Deposit your $5. Get your $150 worth of bonus bets, and go ahead and join the group and take a look at the bets that we have placed. And if you have good bets that you want to place in the group, go ahead and post them so other people can follow them and or duplicate your bets. And if you want to get a full list of my free bets, yes, I said free, because over here we do not gatekeep. And no, there is no subscription to join that either. Go to Discord and join us in Betmasters Lounge, where I post free picks every week. Right now, we're still heavy on NFL. We're going to ride that wave through to the Super Bowl. We do have Ohio State and Notre Dame coming up, and you already know I am taking Ohio State across the board, spread, money line, and over and under in that game. I'm taking the the over in that game, because I don't think that I don't think that it is going to be anything under 45.5. And right now they have the under at 45.5 as of today and the over at 45.5. So that's a push straight across the board. OSU covering the spread and on the money line. Right now, they think it's going to be an upset because they have the money line in the favor around 60% to Notre Dame. Ain't happening. Okay. Sorry, that's just the Buckeye in me. OH. If you know what I'm talking about, finish that up down in the comments. All right, we are going to come back with Gone Now, because listen, sometimes it be your own people. And in this case, yeah, it's your wife. So we'll be right back. Sometimes your op is not even a stranger. Furthermore, it's your wife. And then you somewhere trying to mind your business. In this particular situation, you have passed on, unfortunately, from taking your own life. And you look down here on earth like, I know she did. You have got to be kidding me. She said, what? Yep. Well, we all know that Stephen Twitch, the dancer, iconic dancer, took his life 2 years ago. And his mother, Connie Boss Alexander, is breaking her silence regarding her late son's wife's, Alan Holker, who is, you can look her up. She's also a dancer. They have children together, for sharing personal details about their life in her upcoming memoir. Now, his mother says, our family is absolutely appalled by the misleading and hurtful claims made about my son, Stephen Boss. As his mother, I will not let the accusations go unanswered. We will not stand by while his name and legacies are tarnished. He doesn't deserve this, and the kids don't deserve this. Connie's statements comes after Allison's defended her book. Now, I'm going to go into what she said here shortly. But she wrote a book, and she wrote some scathingly nasty, disrespectful things about her late husband. And she took to social media to say, to the fans of Stephen and our family and friends, I want to be clear that my only intention in writing the book is to share my own story as well as part of my life with Stephen to help other people, she posted. Just like you, I've never really knew what happened. And even as I'm trying to put the pieces together, I will never really know. I call bullshit. Here's why. Let's say all of the things that you put in this book and alluded to about him, which was disgusting. Let's say you didn't know. Why does it need to be aired out in your book? Furthermore, I call cap because if you wrote this so clearly in your book and you are talking about the experiences that you've had with him and the things that he was going through, then you're lying. That means you knew about it and you just wanted to put it out. This is like a smear campaign and a slander campaign to do what? What's the reason? Because he didn't hurt you. He didn't hurt his children. He took his own life for whatever reasons that he was going through. And if he wanted to share that when he was alive and you knew what he was going through, then you would have shared that with him. You would have sat down and discussed it and said, listen, this is something that we are going to keep personal within our family, or this is something that needs to be publicized so that people can understand what you're going through. And in which case, while you're alive, maybe this can help other people, not when the man is dead. During an interview with People, Allison said she found hidden drugs in her and Twitch's closet while she was preparing for her late husband's funeral. It was a really triggering moment for me because there were a lot of things I discovered in our closet that I did not know existed, she told the publication. It also helped me process what he was going through and why he was going through so much and what he was hiding. And there must have been a lot of shame in that. Now, I am pissed off now. Hold on, y'all. Let me resituate myself. Hold on. If your husband, if allegedly, if he had secrets, if he was hiding something, if he had a drug problem, because he's not here to speak up for himself. And there's one thing that I really cannot stand is when people speak on the dead. If he had all of those problems, why do we need to know about it? Why does that need to be in your memoir? There are other things that you could put in that memoir that can uplift his legacy. Why couldn't you go and find the images or publications of where he came up in dancing, or the amount of people that he touched through his art, through his craft? There were many other avenues that you could have went, but you decided to go this way because you wanted to spin a narrative. And what narrative are you trying to spin so that people can look at him and say, oh, he was drugged out and fucked up, so now this is why he killed himself? Why was that needed for us to know? Why did you take the time to write that in your memoir? Not to even furthermore, you have children. So what does that make the children look like? What do they have to go through? Because if I'm your child, I'm looking at you sideways like, hold on now. Dad is already passed. He took his life. And then you go find this stuff, as odd as it may be and as strange as it is. We don't know why. And even if we do know and we can make some sense out of this, why are you smearing Dad's name in a book? So his mother further goes on to say, for the last 2 years, I have remained quiet and away from the public eye to protect my family. My primary focus has been on healing and attempting to remain connected to my grandchildren. But when I read these dreadful claims about my baby, our beloved Stephen, I realize that I cannot stay silent any longer. Our family will ensure his name and memory are protected, and we are committed to defending his honor. Disgusting. Allison further goes on to say, in sharing, I hope that maybe they can catch some of the red flags that I missed before it's too late. Over the course of the last 2 years, I've spoken in detail with NAMI as well as the Solomon family and the Defensive Line Foundation to better educate myself on mental health issues so that I can share warnings with others. You can share warnings without smearing this man's name all out in the streets and his personal business that wasn't our business. If we didn't know then, why we need to know now? All of the proceeds from this book are going to fund Mental Health Foundation that she started in Stephen's honor. Move with kindness. You know, it bothers me, y'all, that we live in a world where people can exploit people's shortcomings, exploit people's mental health challenges for clicks. So you could go buy your book on a bestsellers list. Being addicted to drugs or any type of addiction, it doesn't make you a bad person unless you are following that up with acts that make you a bad person. Stealing, killing, all of that. But the drug itself, the addiction doesn't make you a bad person. And we all know people who have had addictions who are not bad people. There isn't a fail to see her intention. Your intention could be good. This ain't the way to do it. This is not the way to do it. And to make money off of it. I don't have any very much to say a lot of times about the things that go on with people's deaths, and I don't talk about it that much. But this pissed me off. It really pissed me off. No person that's struggling with anything should be exploited for a money grab. And people are saying, oh, well, she's donating money. That money from her book so far has not gone to that organization. So when does she plan to do it? Perhaps after she makes a certain amount, and then she'll donate the rest of whatever happens. Let's say she donated all of it, as she stated. It doesn't make it right, y'all. Jump down in the comments and let me know what your thoughts is on that. Listen, y'all voted and y'all asked for this. So I don't want to hear nobody crying right now about nothing, okay? Now listen, Trump says that he can exploit victims. Oh, this is disgusting. He can exploit victims of the Los Angeles wildfires to pass his extreme agenda by holding funding hostage. Quote, when Los Angeles is included, we get everything we want. Trump tells Dan Bongino, I don't think we should do a bill until Los Angeles is included. And when Los Angeles is included, then I guess we'll give them some money. Let's take a listen to it.
Big, beautiful bill, because frankly, they want that so badly. They want the money to go out there so badly. And I don't think we should do a bill until Los Angeles is included. And when Los Angeles is included, we get everything we want. You add Los Angeles into it, then you can really do one big, beautiful bill, because frankly.
Here's the thing, y'all. Imagine you live in Los Angeles and your home was just burned to the ground. and then imagine that you voted for him. The man has not even been president for a day. And you can already see that he's not the president for the United States. He's the president for basically his donors and for MAGA. And I believe it's time for people to all get on the same page. What he's doing, I don't care if he wants to declassify the JFK file. Listen, that's already been done. He wants to open the files up for Martin Luther King was shot. All right, fine. Whatever the reason is you're doing that for, I'm pretty sure it's for something. You want to hold out the whole TikTok thing so you can sign into law, whatever that is, so you could get the credit for it. All right. Trust me and believe me, that didn't come without something. And from what I understand with that whole TikTok thing, you are now starting to see ads for Facebook and Instagram on TikTok. So don't tell me that behind the scenes that Zuckerberg didn't have a hand in whatever went down. I'll also say this: $500 billion in annual taxes to the federal government should be held hostage. Period. Let's step aside from the political aspect of this and just get to the human side of it. People's houses burned right in front of them. And if it didn't burn right in front of them, they went back to it and it was gone. Doesn't matter to me if you make $100 million a year or $100,000 a year. It's still your home. You still have personal things there, pictures, memories, artifacts, things grandma gave you, grandpa gave you, your child's first picture, whatever the case may be, it's gone. And you're displaced, whether you're in a hotel or you're in one of the facilities that has housing, or whether you are staying with someone who's opened their doors, a family member or a friend. And the incoming leader of this country wants to exploit all of your hurt, all of your pain for a political agenda. That's hurtful. What's happening in this country right now with deportation of immigrants is hurtful. Families are ripped apart, snatched away. Kids are being left at school with no parents to go home to. Birthright people at that, not illegals that cross the border, that are harming people, that are killing people. Because guess what? You have American citizens born right here that do that. Imagine being a child afraid because when you were brought to school from your house and your parent, you don't have that to go back home to. Some lady is going to take you to a place that's strange. You don't know anybody. Where is my mom? Where is my dad? Wives are taken from their husbands. I've seen it happen here. And this man wants to exploit a human being who just went through a tragedy for political bullshit. Imagine you sitting at home and you voted for him. If you don't feel as a human being that that's wrong, and you feel that what he is doing is right, shame on you too. This is the United States of America. It's united because we come together in times when it's needed. The Eagles fans donated and collected over $13,000 to give to the Los Angeles Rams to take back to their city to help the people. People are packing up clothes and donating things and packing up trucks and driving it to LA. And people are saying, oh, well, that's not my problem. That's not their business. They always got wildfires out there. God forbid something ever happens in your community where there's a natural disaster, where you are displaced and you need that kind of help. And the president looks at you and says, all right, not until you give me that, then I'll rebuild your house. Not until you do this for me will I give aid. Exploiting you to the max, then see how it feels. That's going to end it for this week's episode, y'all. Listen, aside from the political BS, okay, we got some games coming up. And I, for one, am looking forward to all of it. I want to see who's coming out on top this year. Let's get these bets in. Let's enjoy some sports, y'all, because in all these bad times, sometimes sports is just the outlet that we need. It could be music, it could be, but for me, it's sports. Let's get into these games. Let's talk some mess. Let's have some fun. Let's digress, bring all of it down a little bit, because whatever is going to be in this country will be. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Listen, hey, y'all, we are over on Apple Podcasts. We are on Spotify. We are on iHeartRadio and a bunch of other places, or wherever you get your podcast. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when a new episode drops. Hey, and don't forget to hit that like button. Listen, let the algorithm know this lady over here, Dr. T, she got a podcast that you might want to listen to. And guess what? We'll be back here next week with all of the updates from all of the games, who got the juice, who's going to the Super Bowl and such. I'll see y'all later. Peace.